12 months ago, Tottenham Hotspur lifted a trophy, their first in 17 years. Players in tears and fans losing their minds in Bilbao. They entered this season in the Champions League, and right now, with 6 games left, they are in the relegation zone. That is not a bad run of form, that is a complete and total collapse. And what happens to this club financially, if they go down, is unlike anything English football has ever seen before. To understand how shocking this is, you need to sit with the timeline. May 2025, Bilbao, Spain. Tottenham beat Manchester United 1-0 in the Europa League final. Brennan Johnson scored, Mickey van de Ven clearing off the line. Ange Postecoglou delivering on a promise of winning a trophy in his second year. A trophy nobody thought was coming. 3 weeks later, Postecoglou was sacked. Because despite winning the Europa League, Tottenham had finished 17th in the Premier League, one place above relegation. The most extraordinary contradiction in modern football. Trophy winners who nearly went down in the same season. They fixed nothing over the summer, and this season has been worse. 16 Premier League defeats, not a single league win in 2026. 3 managers. And now, Roberto De Zerbi, appointed days ago, watched his first game end in a 1-0 defeat at Sunderland. Afterwards, Jamie Carragher said on live television that Tottenham look like they are going down and he doesn't even believe that they can beat Wolves. Look at the data and it's hard to argue. Only 3 clubs in Premier League history have gone this long without a win from the start of the calendar year. Derby 2007-2008, Sunderland 2002-2003, and Middlesbrough 2016-2017. Every single one of them was relegated. Tottenham are 2 points from safety with 6 games left, and the financial consequences of what comes next are staggering. Here's the number that you need to understand before anything else. £565 million. That is Tottenham's revenue from last season. Over £500 million. More than almost every other football club on earth. In the Championship, that number does not drop, it collapses. Finance expert Kieran Maguire has run the projections. Tottenham's income falls from approximately £609 million this season to just £348 million in the Championship. A drop of over £260 million in a single year. £250 million. Gone in 12 months. Here's how it breaks down. Premier League clubs earn a minimum of around £110 million in broadcast money. Championship clubs earn roughly £12 million. That's one hit. Then there's the commercial income. Sponsorships, partnerships, brand deals. Tottenham earned £277 million from commercial revenue last season. Already, before relegation is even confirmed, the Telegraph is reporting that a long-standing sponsor has told the club their deal ends this summer. Others are considering whether to follow. Brands do not want their name on a Championship shirt. And when sponsors leave, they don't rush back. But the broadcast money and the sponsorship collapse, that's just the beginning. There is a detail buried in Tottenham's player contracts that most people have not focused on, and it changes everything about what happens next. Tottenham's total wage bill last season was £249 million. Their first team players account for the vast majority of that. Now, most clubs going down face an impossible choice. Pay Premier League wages to players stuck in the Championship, or let them go. Tottenham thought they'd solved this problem. The vast majority of the squad have relegation clauses written into their contracts. Automatic wage reductions of around 50% if the club is relegated. Finance expert Stefan Borson estimates those clauses could save Tottenham between 80 and 90 million pounds on wages overnight. Clever, right? But here's the problem. A 50% wage cut does not just save money. It's a legal trigger. Every player with that clause in their contract can now point to it and say, my terms have changed significantly and I want to leave. Maddison, Christian Romero, Mickey van der Ven, Kulusevski, every one of them can walk. Not because they hate the club, because they are Premier League players with Premier League options and nobody sacrifices their career to play Stoke City on a Tuesday night for half of their current salary. The clauses that were supposed to protect Tottenham become the mechanism that empties the squad. And underneath all of it, there's a number that makes everything worse. £851 million. That is Tottenham's total borrowings. Stadium debt. The price of building one of the greatest venues in world football. The interest on that debt runs at approximately £26 million a year. In the Premier League, it's manageable. The revenue covers it. In the Championship, a completely different story. Tottenham posted a loss of nearly £95 million last season. In a season where they won the Europa League, with all that European prize money flowing in. Without European football, without Premier League broadcast money, with sponsors leaving, and with big star players walking, that loss doesn't shrink. It grows. And here's the cruelest part. Tottenham will need to sell players to manage the financial pressure. But selling your best players in a relegation fire sale does not get you market value. It gets you whatever a buyer decides to offer a desperate club. Leicester City were relegated in 2023. They recorded a £71 million loss in their first Championship season. They are still in the Championship now and fighting to avoid dropping into League One. Tottenham have more resources than Leicester, but they also have more debt, more wages, and infinitely more expectation. Here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Because Tottenham have something no relegated club in history has ever had. The stadium generates money that has absolutely nothing to do with football. NFL games, boxing nights, concerts, conferences, events. Finance expert Kieran Maguire described it clearly. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is now an entertainment complex with a football club as a sideline. That revenue does not disappear in the Championship. The NFL still comes. The concerts still sell out. The hospitality packages still get booked. Last season, match day and event income was £126 million. Most of that survives relegation. That is the lifeline. That is why most finance experts believe that if Spurs go down, they have the resources to come back quickly. The money's there. The infrastructure's there. The squad depth, even after a fire sale, would be the best in the Championship by a distance. But, and every Spurs fan needs to hear this clearly, it only works if the right decisions are made. The right players sold at the right price, and the right signings to dominate the Championship. And the right manager to get them back up in one season. This is a board that has appointed 3 managers in a single season. The stadium saves them financially. Whether the people running the club save them sportingly, that's a different question. So are Tottenham going down? The prediction markets say there's a 47% chance. Basically a coin flip. 6 games, and they're 2 points from safety. If they do, revenue falls by over £260 million. Wage clauses trigger a player exodus, and the £851 million debt keeps mounting. And a club that won European trophy 12 months ago will be playing championship football. There is no precedent for this. No club with this revenue, this debt, or this infrastructure has ever been relegated from the Premier League. They are too big to go down. The question is whether they are too broken to stay up. If this video gave you a different perspective on what is really at stake for Tottenham, give it a like. It really helps more people find the channel. Subscribe to Sports Cash Files. Every week we cover the money behind the sport. And drop it in the comments. Do you think Spurs will survive? Or is this about to become the most expensive relegation in football history? See you in the next episode.